Welcome to the full email automation guide. Today I'm going to show you how to actually create email sequences, but also how to implement them into your client's ecosystem so you can make yourself irreplaceable, but also help your client generate as much money as possible. And I am also going to show you the general rules of building email automations and how to set up each individual type of email sequence in your email service provider so you actually understand how to navigate the whole software and stuff. So this should be very interesting. I welcome you to setting up email automations, guys. So let's get straight into the source. You might be asking yourself, what even is an email automation? I'm going to explain this to you straight up. So setting up email automations means actually bringing your copy to life, your email copy specifically, by setting the single emails and sequences up in the backend or email service provider. The email service provider is basically the software you will be using to create the sequences. So this whole concept basically just means you actually build the thing. You bring your email copy to life. That's as simple as it can get. You build a funnel so the customers of the client you will be working for actually receives all the emails, right? So you can actually send those out. I have already told you that just being a copywriter simply isn't enough anymore. You are the growth partner and you create or improve the client's whole ecosystem. And that's why you have to set up email automations and build funnels. I've talked about the whole build funnels thing in the last video it was, I believe. So for this video, I'm going to show you how to actually set up these email automations so you can use them to make some money for your clients. So I will see you in Go High Level right now. Okay, now we are in Go High Level, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you two things you need to understand in order to navigate Go High Level correctly. So we are going to click on the left side of the screen, we click on Sites, and then we go onto Forms right here. And I'm going to explain this to you a little bit later on, but for now, just follow the steps. I'm going to make this as simple as possible for you. So you click on Add Form, you choose like from a template or from scratch, however you like it, and you choose a name, a design, whatever, and you call it something like Getting the Lead Magnet. Very simple. The next thing you are going to do is you go onto the marketing tab, you click on emails, on templates, and then you will create a new template. Just click on here, click on blank template and name it like new template. And now, before we have like the first steps figured out, now we will talk about actually like the whole concepts and rules of creating email automations and how to do it. So you click on automation right here, and now you click on create workflow in the top right corner of the screen. You click on start from scratch. So now we are in this whole like automation builder, email sequence builder, workflow builder, however you want to call it. And there are different concepts. You need to understand different layers so you can actually build email sequences. And I am going to start with the very first concept. The first layer, we will talk about triggers, guys. You need to understand. Every time you send out an email automation or like an email sequence, there has to be some kind of condition or trigger for the email service provider to actually understand, hey, yo, what should I do? What will be the trigger for me to actually send out this particular email sequence for this particular person, right? So there always has to be some sort of trigger actually telling the provider what to do, right? To send out this particular email sequence. So we are going to add a trigger right now. And there are many triggers, many different triggers, but I am going to keep it very simple, guys, very easy for you. We are going to choose the trigger form submitted. And as you guys might remember, 1 minute ago, I've shown to you how to actually create a form. So yeah. First of all, I'm going to explain to you before going on how to actually, like what a form actually is. So you need to understand every time you go onto a landing page, like for a lead magnet or something, there's a button, and if you click on the button, there's going to pop up a little registration window where you can put in your contact info, something like your first name, phone number, email address, and this whole thing, this like a registration window, is what you call a form, right? So if we submit a form submitted, this is when this whole email sequence, this email automation or workflow gets triggered, right? And that's as simple as it can get. But you need to understand, we will do different automations and different email sequences and stuff. So for each individual email sequence, we need different forms. So if we was to choose the same form for every landing page or like for every single email sequence, it would just send out 3 different email sequences, and the prospect will receive 3 emails a day. And we of course don't want that. For each individual sequence, there has to be an individual form. So we are going to click on Add Filter, we click on Select, we click on Form Is, and let's say this is like an automated lead magnet sequence, like a welcome sequence. We can select the form, getting the lead magnet. You can also call the form something like lead magnet opt-in or whatever, right? So now we click on this, we click on Save Trigger. And that's already the first concept you now understand, the whole trigger thing, right? Excuse me. And yeah, now the next thing we will be doing before actually sending out the email is we will click on the plus down here. We can also, by the way, we can rename this to like automated lead magnet sequence so you guys understand it a little bit better. Automated lead magnet. Now we click onto the plus, and the first thing we are going to do is we add a tag. And the reason we do this is so that in the future we can differentiate where different people, different like contacts in our whole email service provider have come from. There might be one from a webinar in like 2025 of February. There might be one from a lead magnet 2 years ago or something. So we have to add a tag for this particular email sequence, for this particular form, you could also say. So yeah, let's say this is like a lead magnet sequence. We add like the lead magnet tag, or like lead magnet 2025 of March or something, right? Whatever. And now we click on Save Action. So now we have added a tag. We can also like change the name up here. We can change to something like lead magnet tag or whatever, just for your understanding. Now, the next step we will do is we will click onto the plus again, and before sending out the email, I promise you after that we will do it, we type in wait. So we will add a wait step before actually sending out the email. And the reason we do that is so we decrease like the likelihood of the email landing in the spam, because it like gets sent out instantaneously. So we choose something like 0.5 minutes before sending out like the first mail, which will be the confirmation mail. You can also rename this action step if you want to something like wait 30 seconds. Click on Save Action, and now we wait 30 seconds to actually send out the first email, which is going to be the action mail. It's just send email, right? You can also call this mail like confirmation mail or something like this whole action step. And we type in the subject line in here. It could be something like welcome to the list. I don't know. We can choose a custom value. I'm going to cover this later on. Click on contact right here. Contact first name. Welcome to the list, contact first name, right? Which would be Yannick in my case. So yeah, you could create the whole email down here in like this message thing, but that looks very ugly if you send this email out. So what I like to do is I choose a template, and that's why we have created an email template, if you can remember it. We go onto this template, we click on new template, and we can also edit it, right? So this is where you can make your email very beautiful inside of the email automation. You can add text like drag and drop, you can add another image like I have done right here, and you can also add custom values and make the things like bigger and stuff, you know, like, I don't know, like this, you know, it's a little bit extreme, but yeah, you can also make things bold, of course, you know, however you like it. You can add can make like the line height a little bit higher and stuff, you know, so the next thing is going to be down here and stuff. You have so many different options, and of course, like for the custom values, you can click on this, and this is where you can add a link to like a certain word or something. When you mark this, choose something like Google. Yeah, okay, but you know how it works, right? So yeah, and also you can add like custom values, something like you click on the 3 dots right here, you click on this one, custom values, and you can add, this is so complicated, there's so much stuff to explain, but for now, just choose contact first name, hey contact first name, and that's when it's going to understand, because in the form, there's a condition, like a little query key called first name, and that's when you like, you know, that's how the email service provider understands, okay, that's the first name of this particular guy, because it's like in the form, right? And yeah, you can type stuff in here. You can add even other things like the footer, like I have done here. You can add image sliders, videos, whatever you like, right? So you have many different options in here. You can change colors of the button, add trigger links in here, many different options, you know? So Yeah, you can try it out a little bit. Just for now, you can see how all of the stuff works. So now we have like finished like the whole first email, right? The confirmation email. The next thing we can do is we can also add like another wait step. So the way we do that is we basically go onto the plus again and we click on this here right now and we type in wait. And now we have like another wait step. Let's say this would be an automated lead magnet sequence, and we just wait 24 hours before sending out the next email. Right? That's as simple as it can get. And by the way, that's a really simple tutorial. I won't go too in-depth into this because otherwise it will be way too complicated and many people watching this video wouldn't understand it. So yeah, you can also add things like, go high level will detect the payments and stuff, right? You can even make like payments detect and stuff. You can choose if else, meaning, okay, if this person clicked the link in this email, send him this other email, right? You can do split tests in here. You have so many different options, but for now, just understand that's how you like put things very simple. The most simple thing you're going to do is like newsletter or like automated lead magnet sequence. So very easy, very straightforward. You have many different actions you can choose from right here. You can pause this video and see different triggers you can add right here, or like different actions you can add. So many things you can do in here. And the next thing is we are going to cover is now we will talk about certain certain sequences, certain email sequences. And the first one we will be talking about is the automated lead magnet sequence. So see you in there. Okay, now we will talk about the first example. We will talk about the automated lead magnet sequence and how to set it up. So you guys should all know by now what a trigger is and how it works. You click on add new trigger, you choose form submitted, you click form is like add filter, and you choose getting the lead magnet or whatever you want to call your form that you are using. Then you add a tag. You can also choose a random name for this, something like lead magnet. After the tag, we wait for half a minute before actually sending out the first email because we don't want to spam them too much or like make it look shady, make it look too automated. And then we send out the first confirmation mail that contains like the whole lead magnet, of course, right? You guys all understand how this works. Type in like the action name if you want to have something different right here, but only you are going to see this subject line, and you can choose like the body of the mail, right? After that, you will wait for only 10 to 30 minutes. And the reason for that is because we want to send out the first value email after they have consumed the lead magnet. So this is like on your judgment, however long you think they need to consume the whole lead magnet. If it's like an ebook or if it's like a free video training, you will need to choose how long you want to wait before sending them the first value email. So for this example, I just put in 10 minutes right here. And after that, we will, of course, send them the email, the first value email, right? After that, we will wait for another 24 hours because we always only send one email per day. We will send the next value email after this. Then we will send the next wait step for 24 hours. Then we will do another value mail, another wait for 24 hours. You guys should all understand how this works by now. And then we send the first value into promo. If you don't understand what I mean by that, go check out the free full email marketing guide. That's where I explain like everything, like theoretically on how to do the whole email marketing stuff. You will also understand what this means if you don't understand it by now. And yeah, then you will, of course, wait again for 24 hours. You could also add conditions in here, something like if else, if he already bought, don't keep sending mails to him. But I'm going to keep it very simple, guys. You can just wait because at the end of the day, if they buy, they buy. And if they don't, they don't. You can just structure it a little bit fancier in here or like put A and B split tests and stuff. Yeah, we wait another 24 hours. We send the next value mail, another 24 hours, the next value mail, and another 24 hours. And then we send out like the hard promo, something like, yeah, oh my God, now you need to buy, blah, blah, blah. And now we add another tag, which could be something like, okay, automated lead magnet sequence finished or something like newsletter. Because as you guys should understand, if you have watched like the whole full email marketing guide, the newsletter is the dynamic side of email marketing, and like sequences only get sent out once per prospect. So it's kind of like the static side of email marketing. So now we add the tag newsletter, and that's it for the automated lead magnet sequence. Now we will talk about the retarget and special offer sequence. Okay, now on to the next sequence. We will talk about the retarget or like special offer sequence. But before going into the workflow builder, I have something to explain to you. So I'm in the contacts tab right now because we have to add all of those people we want to retarget into this particular automation and like the special offer sequence, retarget sequence, however you want to call it, right? So you have to imagine we have thousands of contacts in here right now. And what we will do is we will click on a single contact. You can't see this right now. You click on a contact and then you select like all contacts, right? You can also like choose filters, something like, okay, they need to have the tag. That's very important because you need to understand if they are still in the welcome email sequence, we want them to stay in there, right? We don't want to send them like a retarget sequence. So we choose something like tag is newsletter. So we only send it to the people that are already done with the whole welcome sequence, right? With the whole automated lead magnet sequence. Apply, and then it only shows the contacts that actually have this particular lead tag. That have already finished like the whole automated lead magnet sequence. That's why you put it at the end, right? Because now they don't receive anything else if you don't have any other sequences set in place. So now you click on like select contacts, then you choose all contacts or something, and then you click on add to automation. And you can basically click yourself through. You can see this when you do it and add them to the automation, which we call the retarget or special offer sequence, right? And that's when we get right into the actual email sequence. So you see, for this one, we don't have a trigger. And the reason for that is pretty simple. The only thing, because this is a one-time email sequence, you just have to understand you send this out like randomly in like the middle of May 2025. So you just create a whole sequence and then you say, okay, I want to reactivate these particular contacts, and you just add these contacts onto this automation. We don't need a certain trigger for this, but we need to differentiate the people that are finished with the welcome sequence and the people who are not finished with like the automated lead magnet sequence, you know? So that's why we add a tag at the end of the automated lead magnet sequence. So yeah, we add all of those contacts onto this automation and then it basically just starts. We have the first email being sent out. We could also add another tag here, something like retarget from May or something, you know. Send out the first mail, wait 24 hours, send the next mail, 24 hours, next mail, 24 hours, next mail, 24 hours. It can be like 5, 6, 7 mails, whatever. And then we have mail number 5, which would be like the hard promo mail with like urgency and scarcity and stuff. And yeah, we could also add something, but I'm not going to explain this in this video, something like if else. Yeah, if they bought, finish everything, or if they didn't buy, keep sending them these emails from like this another sequence or something, right? So it doesn't matter, right? So yeah, very easy, very simple. And let's go on to the next example, which will be the webinar sequence. So see you in there. Okay, now on to the webinar sequence. This is a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to explain it the best way I can so you actually understand how all of this stuff works. So trigger, you guys all understand this. Click on this, choose form submitted, choose form is, and choose another form, not like the lead magnet one, because otherwise it will all be fucked up. Choose something like the workshop opt-in or webinar opt-in, however you want to call your particular form. And yeah, the next thing you are going to do, and that's where it gets a little bit more complicated, you will set an event start time. You will choose the start of the exact webinar, right? This is very easy right now, but the reason we do that is a little bit more complicated. So you need to understand, let's say we advertise a webinar from Sunday to Sunday. People will opt in on like the first Sunday and they will get like the confirmation mail and stuff and everything's fine. And they will receive like the first email at like Wednesday. This is just a German word for Wednesday. And yeah, everything is fine. But we will have other people opting in for the same sequence like 5 days later. They will opt in on like Thursday or something, right? And then they will just straight up receive the confirmation and receive the Wednesday mail on like Friday or something, and that doesn't work, of course. We want to make sure that everybody that opts in for this webinar gets the same emails at each individual time. You guys understand what I mean? They have to receive the emails, the same emails all the time. So otherwise, like the whole time frames would be fucked up, and some people come in like at Saturday the whole email sequence starts and the webinar is already long gone and they still receive like those emails. So we need to fix this, right? And yeah, the way we do this is we set a event start time. We add a tag like webinar and choose like the date it was at, confirmation mail will just be a confirmation mail. You guys all understand this. I'm not going to leak anything here. And now I'm going to explain to you the kind of more complicated steps of like the whole webinar sequence. We click on to wait 4 days because it will be 4 days until the webinar starts, because it's like Wednesday, right? Wednesday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then it's like Sunday, right? So that's why it's like wait 4 days. Just in German, but I'm explaining this to you guys. So this email is completely normal, but this step is a little bit more complicated. We choose wait, and we choose, instead of time delay, we choose event appointment time, right? The date of the webinar, and we choose 4 days before the webinar, please send out this email, the Wednesday mail, so everybody receives it at the same time. And if the timing of this wait step is already in the past, how should the contact proceed? Meaning, if someone opts in on Friday, he of course shouldn't receive this mail, right? This Wednesday mail, because it's already like 2 days before the webinar and not 4 days. So what we will do is we will click on move to a specific step and it will send them to the wait 3-day one, right? But what if this is basically just we've changed the 4 to 3. What if this is also in the past as well? We will choose move to a specific step and wait 2 days, right? Send the next mail. So it always jumps over those emails and it doesn't send those emails. It just straight up jumps to the next wait step all of the time. It's a little bit more complicated, but just keep rewatching this video. It will be very simple if you understand it. Now we send them from the next thing, from like the wait 2 days. Oh, this is in the past as well. People are opting in on Saturday, like right before the webinar. So move to a specific step, wait 1 day, right? And yeah, for the wait 1 day, we will move them to the specific step, wait 2 hours, 30 minutes, right? So from 2 hours to 30 minutes, 30 minutes to 5 minutes, 5 minutes to exact time. So we actually like increase the show rate. That's why we spam them so much. And then when it's exact time, we will just straight up send them to the specific step, the whole promo mail, right? I have to fix this in the future, but you guys understand how it works. Like they will still like receive a last chance mail after this. You just send them you just change this mail to like the last chance mail, and then it should work out when they opt in like after the webinar's already started. So yeah, that's very easy. That's like the whole webinar sequence. And in terms of like the actual emails you should choose, these are like just value mails, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, blah, blah, blah. These are just reminder mails, like basically increasing the show rate. If you don't understand what like reminder mails are, go check out the free full email marketing guide. And yeah, like the whole thing is like just reminder stuff. Then you get like the call recording. For this particular step, you don't need to choose like 24 hours after event. You can just go with time delay because no one else will opt in. You will tell your creator to like remove the link from the bio so no one else will opt in, right? Time delay, 24 hours after the webinar, you will get like the call recording. And then you will wait another 24 hours. You will send like the first promo mail, and you wait another 24 hours and you send out the last chance mail, right? So that's it for the whole webinar sequence. And now we will talk about the newsletter for the last step of this video. See you in there. Okay, now we will talk about the last example. We will be talking about the newsletter, but before that, I think I have forgotten something. Of course, we only want to send out the newsletter and the email retarget sequence after people are finished with the welcome sequence, guys, or like the automated lead magnet sequence. And that's why we add like this tag at the end, this newsletter tag. You could also do a tag for like retargets or something, right? So you can make sure, okay, they've already received all of those like automated lead magnet emails, and now I can send new stuff to them. But you don't want to send them like double mails or something, so they get like the retarget and the welcome at the same time, which will be way too confusing. So yeah, you only send out the newsletter and the retarget sequences. Newsletter is like dynamic, and the retarget sequence is like only one time. You only send those out after the automated lead magnet sequence is finished. And now let's talk about the newsletter, how to set it up. And I'm pretty sure there's a better, more automated way to do this, but I am going to show you a very simple version that's going to prevent lots of problems for you. Because let's say we have someone in an automated newsletter sequence, like an automated thing, right? Where it's like all automated and stuff. He gets like mails every time someone opts in, he gets added to this automation. It's like a whole newsletter thing. You will have struggles with like taking them out of this automation and putting them into a retarget special offer sequence and then putting them back into this newsletter right where they stopped. You know what I mean? So let's say they received like 8 emails and there's like a total of 20 emails in like this whole newsletter, and you like remove them to add them into the special offer sequence and you add them back in. How are you going to make sure they are going to land at the same step? So that's something I didn't figure out yet. So I'm just going to keep it extremely simple now onto the newsletter. We have created a tag for everybody that is finished with the whole automated lead magnet sequence, with like the static kind of marketing of emails. And what we will do now is we will click onto contacts. We will click onto more filters. We will choose tag. And we will choose tag is newsletter, because that's, if you guys can remember, the tag we have chosen to give to people after they are finished with the whole automated lead magnet sequence. So we know for sure these people are able to receive the newsletter, right? And that's as simple as it can get. So now we click apply and you will see all of the contacts that have like this newsletter tag, right? So I don't add them to an automation. The thing I am doing for them is basically I will click on, I will add all the contacts and then I will just send email basically to all of those people. And that's what you call a bulk action. And then I will just write the email for them in there, and basically it will send out like the whole newsletter email to everybody that's like on the newsletter thing. So this way, you aren't like trapped inside of the automation, or like your contacts aren't trapped in there and you have to take them out, take them in again, It will be very valuable, like automating this kind of stuff and like putting 20 or 30 emails into place for every single week or something. But it's going to be too much fucking around for me personally. So yeah, that's why I'm going to go with like this particular approach. Just every single time I want to send an email, I just go onto this. You already prepared the email. You already have it like in your Notion or Google Docs or something. You just click on this, send it out. It only takes like 5 minutes or something. So yeah, that's everything for the newsletter already. Just click yourself through this. It will show you how everything works. You also need to find out some stuff for yourself. That's why I'm not covering every single step in terms of like all of the triggers there and stuff. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope by now you understand how to actually create email automations. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye bye.